host of the Gridiron.
Fourth and goal to go with the 2. 34 seconds left to go in the ball game. This is the play right now. Takes the snap. Targeted goes in. Targeted all alone. And the quarterback keeps. Wow, what a call. Nobody touched him.
Now, of course, right, since you brought in, all these undrafted free agents we're bringing in, right, where all of the nice little draft class we got brought in, right, all that, of course. Now, he also wants to put some guys on the bubble, especially this guy right here, right? So we're going to go over some guys who are on the bubble here, right? Well, one of them, right? So, one of them also you're talking about, right, is that you got Giants are facing several offensive line free agent decisions after 2025. Right? I mean, it's headlined by right tackle Jermaine Illuminor, who bounced around the offensive line but was the best healthy lineman for the Giants in 2024. Well, GVR, too. His versatility, Illuminor's, was key, and he projects to be an above-average starter at right tackle for Russell Wilson, with left tackle Andrew Thomas making a healthy return if the Giants are set to have one of the league's better tackle duos, but how long will it last? Illuminor's contract expires after the upcoming season, prompting New York with a decision to extend Illuminor into his mid-30s. Is that something they're going to do? There's a reason to believe he's among the safer long-term bets to extend past 2025, too. He can play either tackle spot, has experience at guard, and has a history with offensive line Carmen Brasilio. And, of course, you got right guard Greg Van Roten, also has a history with Brasilio. It's no surprise Van Roten has had his best season, right, under Brasilio's tutelage, nor that the unit looked its best when Thomas was healthy and the two former Los Angeles Raiders were together on the right side of the line. You got GVR and Illuminor on the right side of the line. That was early on. The first 5 so games, the Giants' offensive line didn't look too bad. It was respectable. You could win games with it. Van Roten played every single offensive snap for the Giants last season, filling in at center when necessary. He was a late camp addition in 2024, re-signed early in free agency, and will be a free agent again after 2025. He's a low upside starter, but his competency and versatility may keep him around if New York wants to remain inexpensive on the interior. First-round tackle Evan Neal will be a free agent too, although that's a decision the Giants have already made. It's declining his 5th-year option. New York made the upcoming season a contract year for Neal. With a presumed move to guard, Neal's liabilities may be mitigated away from high-profile edge rushers. Among internal options, Neal could feasibly push for Van Roten's roster spot in a year's time, although the latter will have priority in 2025. But, right, you got guys, right? Of course, you got Evan Neal, right? So you got guys, make it or break it mode for these 4 guys, right? There are a few Giants incumbent players who could be teetering close to the edge of their tenures as new talent arrives in East Rutherford. It's a special time of the year for some and a fearful time for others, but the real competition begins this summer, when a slew of roles will be on the line after a Giants class that has guys who can come in and steal some starting reps early. That said, these are some current Giant players who should feel their seats getting a little warmer now that the roster building season is over. Oh, yeah. One of the older Giant players who will be followed closely throughout the remainder of the offseason and regular season is former first-round pick Evan Neal, who is at a crossroads in his 4th year with the franchise. This past season, Neal began his slide down the depth chart with the arrival of Jermaine Illuminor in free agency, along with offensive line coach Carmer Basilio, who was hired from the Raiders. The familiar Illuminor was thrust into the starting right tackle spot to perform much more admirably and leave Neal to figure out his game behind. Even when Neal had to re-enter the equation late in the year as injuries piled up, very little signs of growth happened. In his 456 snaps at right tackle, the 24-year-old did pretty well in run blocking, 80.6 overall in run blocking, which was the best run blocking grade on the Giants team. But he finished under 50 as a pass blocker for the third straight season. Next guy up, Jalen Hyatt. And the thing with that is, with these guys here, with Neal, pick number 7. Wow. And we don't even know if he's going to make the team after this season. But then Jalen Hyatt, you traded up to get the guy. The Giants wide receiver Jalen Hyatt, it's hard to say that many members of the organization have a questionable role as he does. In fact, Hyatt, who was once the leading pass catcher in the entire SBC, his final year at Tennessee, has progressively lost any impact on the Giants' offense. After he posted nearly 1,300 receiving yards in 2022, the 23-year-old hasn't amassed more than 400 yards and a single touchdown in 2 seasons with New York. Whew. Running back, Cam, when they drafted Cam, Mr. Eric Gray is getting very, very hot. Compared to the last player, the Giants have tried to get running back Eric Gray more involved in the team's Sunday contest. The effort just hasn't panned out, and now Cam is joining the room and getting fans excited. A 5th-round prospect from the 2023 class, Gray has also slowly seen himself drop off from the Giants' rotation. He was never really poised to be the number 1 option with guys like Saquon and Tyrone Tracy Jr. in the mix. But his rare opportunities have not turned into much for the young ball carrier. In 30 games played, Gray has not churned more than 100 yards in the ground and is still waiting to make his first curtain call in the end zone. While he had a chance to climb the ranks in camp, he remained the 3rd-string back while Tracy and veteran Devin Singletary handled the rushing workload. Now I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he might have been the one that fumbled the ball against the against Seattle. Was he the one that fumbled the ball against the Seahawks and they ran it back all the way for a touchdown? So I mean, it's just a fumble, trying to return kicks. He fumbles the ball. It's like, so I mean, we got Motor Singletary, we got Turbo Miller, right? We got Cam, and we got Tyrone Tracy Jr. I mean, it's like I can't see Gray making the team. I mean, I don't know. We're only bringing 3 guys on the 53. I would imagine. I can't see it was 4 running backs. We got 3 running backs, right? So he's either not going to make the team or he's going to be on the practice squad. Then the final one, which we possibly could cut and save a little bit of money, right, would be Nacho. Raheem Nunez Roches. Perhaps his continued presence on the team signals a different case, but it's not certain the Giants are sold on Raheem Nunez Roches as their number 2 interior defensive lineman. Well, not after we drafted Alexander. And we brought in a bunch of guys, free agents and everything. So, be interesting to see. The Giants had a significant need for an interior defensive lineman prior to the draft, and they pursued it right after their 2 main roster needs were fulfilled. The best player available, and then the future quarterback, right, the Jackson Dart. With their 3rd-round selection, which remained from the Dart trade, the Giants chose, obviously, Darius Alexander. The pick was regarded by many as one of the best value selections by New York, as Alexander was ranked as the 30th best prospect in the 2025 class and one of the highest in the position group. And we got him at number 65. Alexander figures to challenge Nunez Roches in training camp for the right to fill the gaps alongside Dexter Lawrence. He has some upside in the pass rushing realm, but he stood out with his physicality and strength against the opposing rushing game in college. So, I mean, Alexander is, should be very interesting. Very, very interesting. For Nacho, that could mean he gets pushed out of the picture after he didn't post the most impressive year for a grizzled veteran. He finished fourth in the position group with a 50.2 run defensive grade. And that's what we brought him in here for, too. It wasn't like you're bringing Nacho in here. It's like, well, we're going to get 7 or 8 sacks from him. He's got a good pass rush. He's going to get us some sacks. Got a lot of pressures, hits, and all that stuff. And if he can stop the run, okay, that's a side. No, it was the exact opposite. With him, you're not going to get much of anything on the pass, right? Pass pressure or anything like that. But he's supposed to be good against the run, and that just really wasn't the case. So if we could let him go and save a couple $1 million, that I do know. Let's see, he finished fourth in the position with 50.2 run defense grade and only made the 5th highest stop rate at a 5.8% in 302 snaps. His one positive is his availability, 15-plus games in the last 6 seasons. So that is good. And that's important for a position prone to dealing with injuries. So maybe he slips down a notch on the depth chart and lets a rookie take the stage to leave his mark. What's certain is that Nacho didn't make enough of an impact when it mattered for the Giants. The team has had some developmental players they're going to watch this summer to see if they grow into their intangibles. They will go there if it means better production when Lawrence isn't on the field. So, I mean, especially that's another thing too. Without question. When Sexton goes off the field, you gotta have a couple guys in there that could just, Sexy off the field, and maybe Nacho's one of you 2 guys on there. He's just not doing a good job. Just not doing a good job. I mean, he's a nice guy, great in the locker room, great attitude, all of that stuff. He's just not panning out. It's a shame. It really, really is a shame. And what we brought him in here for, he's just not working. So that's going to be a very, very good. Very, very good. Nice player. Very, very good to check out. This offseason, because we brought in a bunch of free agents on the defensive line, so it's going to be interesting to see.